Patriots, it's Mary here. I just wanted to say thank you for your ongoing support of this channel. I rely solely on donations, so your support literally keeps this channel going. If you would like to make a donation, there is a Stripe link in the description. And with that said, let's start the show. Hello Patriots, I'm at Restored Republic via a GCR update for Tuesday, August 6, 2024, compiled by Judy Byington. Welcome to Black Swan Monday. Markets crashing across the world. Federal Reserve calls emergency meeting. Withdraw all funds from your banks right now. By Monday morning, August 5th, 2024, looming World War III in the Middle East and U.S. recession fears had sparked sellouts in international markets with oil, crypto, and stocks down across the globe. The New York stock market 24-hour trading was halted even before the market opened, and then at that opening the Dow dropped 1,000 points. Japanese stock losses exceeded 830 billion. The Aussie market lost 77 billion in the Monday morning bloodbath, and Taiwan's stock market suffered its worst losses since 1967. Iran preparing to attack Israel. Bangladesh Prime Minister resigns amid deadly protests. UK riots, protests in Venezuela, a worldwide call for fast and prayer. Pray for a restoration of freedom for people of the world. Pray for the brave military forces making mass arrests of global and political elites who have kept the people enslaved. Please do special prayers for the rescue of ritually abused children and adult survivors who Satan worshippers have held captive in a quest for power. These survivors are used as fodder for pedophilia, child sacrifice, and cannibalism rites in honor of Satan. It's only wise to have at least a month's supply of food, water, cash, medicine, and essential items on hand for yourself, your family, and to share with others in case of an emergency. Travel advisory. Due to the unpredictable and volatile nature of the global situation, U.S. citizens should shelter in a safe place and strongly consider returning to the United States when safe to do so. And here's a great quote. At some point, willful ignorance just becomes a special kind of stupid. That's true. Judy note, it was rumored that on Monday, August the 12th, 2024, a blackout will be necessary in order for lights powered by nuclear energy to go out and the Starlink SpaceX quantum energy system to be turned on. Despite the doom and gloom of a pending war and global financial crash, the White House remained in control with Trump as commander-in-chief. Evidently, the USA has been functioning under martial law since before the 2020 election, with Donald Trump as commander-in-chief over the U.S. military and President Joe Biden, played by masked actors. Joe Biden was said to have been arrested in 2021, tried for treason and pedophilia, found guilty, and executed at Gitmo. He has been played by actors ever since, mainly Arthur Roberts. For many years, the Chinese Communist Party, not the Chinese government, which was working to become a democracy, had been involved in a takeover of America. That war culminated when just prior to the 2020 U.S. presidential election, the CCP bought Dominion voting machines that, in collusion with the Democratic Party, CIA, and Vatican, threw millions of Trump votes to Biden. A military count of the watermarked 2020 election ballots was confirmed that Trump won in every state but two, with an over 80% vote count. The CCP paid for and the CIA developed Smartmatic software and Dominion voting machines while conspiring with the Vatican, Italian government, and other communist parties to throw Trump votes to Biden in the 2020 election. Back in 2019, Biden knew the 2020 election would be cooked and even said so on public TV. We have put together the most comprehensive voter fraud organization in the history of politics, and you guys did it for the Obama administration also. Joe Biden brags about having the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in history. Biden was so confident of the setup for 2020 election fraud, he bragged that he didn't need U.S. citizen votes to get elected, saying, "I don't need you to get me elected." Joe Biden tells voters, I don't need you to get me elected. YouTube.com. Before the 2020 election, Ukraine courts had ruled that Biden had stolen billions from their country. Ukraine press release about Joe Biden. Even before that, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden had bragged about blackmailing the Ukraine prosecutor. Joe Biden brags about getting Ukrainian prosecutor fired. Trump would not have it, and prior to the 2020 election, put the nation under martial law. Trump would remain as commander-in-chief of the military until all those who committed treason were arrested, including those who certified the illegal 2020 election. An interim military U.S. government then took over Washington, D.C. to run the country. The two U.S. governments, one, a legitimate interim military U.S. government empowered by the Constitution and the Department of Defense under Military Code 11.3, and two, an illegal, fraudulent, foreign paid for, foreign controlled on the foreign ground of the District of Columbia Biden administration. August 2024, Ellis Washington Report, Real News for Real Patriots from the Judy Byington Report. Monday, August 5th, Urgent Alert, Military Intel, Disruptive Event 2 planned. Military issued satellite phones to the Senate in the coming communication blackout event. AMG News. And Monday, May 13th, 2024, U.S. under martial law, Trump Commander-in-Chief, Biden executed before itsnews.com. Monday, August 5th, the Brunson Brothers case is back on. Let me explain, amgnews.com. Monday, August 5th, global shift alert, EBS activation by 10 nations, internet blackout, global martial law, and transition to metal-backed currencies, Gazette Teller. Monday, August 5th, 2024, boom, military intel, special military forces around the world are on heightened alert, waiting for the go signal. U.S. and Australian military alliance. White House as a military prison. AMG News. Monday, August the 5th, important announcement. A global military broadcast to unify and transform the world. AMG News. Sunday, August the 4th, the latest news about medbeds, Nassara Jassara, and medbeds behind the scenes. Deep state globalist cabal dumbs human cloning and medical technology suppression. AMG News. Monday, August 5th, situation update, bombshell report, deep state cabal headlines, nuclear World War III pending versus white hat headlines, imminent 3-day event, restored republic via a GCR update as of Monday, August 5th. Monday, August 5th, 2024, situation update, restored republic via a GCR. The U.S. Military News. And Sunday, August 4th, situation update, We the People News, situation update, Israel-Iran war, solar flash, VT Intel, and Vatican. Possible timing. Monday, August 5th, Charlie Ward. When Israel and Iran go to war, it will be the cover for the RV. Judy, note, Iran has announced it will attack Israel on the evening of Monday, August 5th, 2024, and Tuesday, August 6th, 3 days remaining from Saturday, August 4th. WikiLeaks Truth on Telegram. Monday, August 12th, blackout necessary. Michael Jackson is alive and decided to return earlier than planned to expose the satanic pedophile cabal of Hollywood. The day is Monday, August 12th. 17th letter. There will be an EBS message, or some call it EAS, message sent over phones, TV, and radio around the globe saying that in the next 5 hours or so, everyone needed to be home for a global lockdown that would last 10 to 12 days. Nassara will be announced to the world, which will show that everything new is beginning, and then through the EBS, they will show documentaries of everything that has happened to wake up the masses. At the end of the 12 days, they will give out an 800 number for individuals to call to obtain an appointment to set up your quantum money account on the new Starlink satellite system. There were 75 deep state banks that were seized and all assets and accounts closed. All the cabal's central banks have been taken over, with assets entered into the quantum financial system. The QFS is run on blockchain where nothing fraudulent can happen because everything is traceable. They can see where all money goes, which stops corruption in its tracks. Apparently all people have a sum of money in an individual quantum financial account. The seized assets of the cabal were moved to those quantum financial accounts of the people. All monies and trust funds were moved to individual QFS accounts. All our bank accounts, savings accounts, and retirement accounts were safe in the new quantum system. The only monies not reflected in individual quantum accounts were investments in shares on the stock market. All that will be gone. It is advised to get out of the stock market immediately. Global Currency Reset, Monday, August 5th, Wolverine. I've spoken to one of the co-founders of the Precarious, and he said that everything is looking massively, and he is very sure we will have incredible news tomorrow. Your Monday. Bondholders are looking very good for this week as well. Monday, August 5th, it was rumored that Reno was ready, just waiting for the green light. Saturday, August 3rd, Texas Snake Room. Miss Jeannie, a friend of ours, went to renew a registration in Florida. His bill was $26.75. He handed the girl $30. Change needed to be added, so the girl went to get quarters. When she handed the change, he was in shock to see the quarter. His excitement got the best of him, and as he went to take a pic, another girl grabbed the coin. He said it had Trump's head on the coin. Wow. Monday, August 5th, 2024. Boom. Decoding the NESARA-GCR acronym. Key provisions of the NESARA law. amgnews.com. So if Trump's picture was on the coin, that is very telling. Because if it was the Federal Reserve creating that, they would not put Trump on that coin. No way. But that shows you the Treasury is now in control of money and printing and things like that. So good. That's very interesting. Monday, August 5th, 2024, breaking the RVGCR, the insolvent nations, and the pending global economic upheaval, the imminent global currency reset, and NESARA-GCR AMG News. Global financial crisis, Monday, August 5th, 2024. Current situation, NewYorkPost.com. Bloodbath on Wall Street as Dow, Nasdaq futures plunge amid recession fears. On Monday morning, August the 5th, 2024, New York stock market 24-hour trading was halted even before the market opened. While at the opening, the Dow dropped 1,000 points. Japanese stock losses exceeded 570 billion. Japanese banks have lost 85 billion due to panic selling on Monday. Bloomberg reports Taiwan stock market suffered its worst losses since 1967, and Bitcoin has dropped below 50,000. Monday, August 5th, 2024, multiple brokerages including Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, TD, Ameritrade, E-Trade, UPS, CenturyLink, and Interactive Brokers are currently down and reporting errors amid market crashes. Everyone is confused right now as to why the stock market is recovering. Let me explain it to you. The market makers are manipulating the market as they always have. They are pushing blue chip stocks back up, killing options prices so people sell, pushing Bitcoin as high as they can, and they are shorting silver, gold, XRP, ISO 20022 tokens, and meme stocks like AMC, DJT, GME, just as they always have on any given day. But this is financially crippling them. That is where the black swan comes in. Right now, it's manageable. It hurts, but it's doable. But once the swan happens, it's no longer manageable. They will turn the power off to protect their power. But when Starlink turns us back on using quantum power, the stock market and crypto markets will go into free fall, creating the largest stock market crash the world has ever seen. They will no longer be able to manipulate fast enough or high enough to keep them from financial collapse. And this is when the apes rise. We hodl for our number and we sell. If we sell, we take what money they still have left, creating the biggest wealth transfer in history. The powers that have unknowingly run this world, keeping us systematically enslaved, will be destroyed with the flip of a switch, while they become the next Lehman Brothers. The perfect storm of finance, creating a financial revolution. Welcome to the Great Awakening. Japan's stock market is officially in correction territory. Ethereum and Bitcoin were down 25% and 15%, with Bitcoin value dropping below 50,000 for the first time since February and currently trading at 52,500. Over 1 billion liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 24 hours. The Nasdaq 100 is officially in correction territory. The 10-year note yield is down 60 basis points in 1 week. The unemployment rate is at 3-year high of 4.3%. The volatility index is up over 100% in 1 month. The following trading platforms were reportedly down: Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, Vanguard, E-Trade, Fidelity. Google's down 11%, Amazon down 10%, Microsoft down 9%, NVDA down 11%, Apple down 10%, Meta down 10%, and Tesla down 10%. Monday, August 5th, Tokyo, Japanic Monday, Japanese bonds stocks halted after plunging into bear market as everything crashes everywhere. Japan stocks plunged 7% as sell-off continues. Japan's benchmark Nikkei stock average opened Monday trading down and soon extended losses to 7%, continuing its steep decline from the previous 2 sessions. The index at one point fell as much as 7.1%, or to 2,540,330 points from Friday's close to 33,369.37, its lowest intraday level since January 5th. The broader Tokyo stock price index shed 7.8%, and that's from Asia, Nikkei.com. Sunday, August 4th, 2024, breaking. Wave of financial collapses in multiple markets spread across the world. Korean stock exchange crashing, suspends trading. And Monday, August 5th, 2024, bank runs. SMFG shares fall as much as 16%, touching daily lower limit. And there goes Japan's second largest bank. Next up, bank runs. X.com. Monday, August 5th, markets now anticipating an emergency Fed rate cut before the scheduled September date. Monday, August 5th, global stock market madness. The Japanese stock exchange Nikkei 225 is way down at opening over negative 4,100 points. That number has since gone down further to over negative 4,600 points, and that translates to 13% down. Just for scale, Japan's largest bank, MUFG, is down 21%. Mitsubishi Bank is the 9th largest bank in the world. The Taiwanese stock exchange has dropped over 1,800 points, or 8%, their largest points drop in their history. Also, the Korean exchange is down 247 points, or 9%. All trading has currently ceased. The U.S. markets will no doubt be greatly affected by this when the morning comes. This is a truly historic crash of epic proportions. Black Monday is going to be an understatement. Monday, August 5th, 2024. The Indian Express stock market crashed today. Bloodbath on Dalal Street as Sensex crashes by nearly 2,400 points amid recession fears in the U.S. IndianExpress.com. Monday, August 5th, Black Monday. A wave of financial collapses in multiple markets is happening across the world. Stocks and crypto have plunged as investors start in panic while a global sell-off deepens. Absolute chaos in Japan as stocks are on track for their biggest decline in more than 8 years. Following a significant drop last Friday, this is an even larger drop than the Black Monday crash of 1987. South Korea has halted all sell orders as markets crash more than 5%. In the United States, the Magnificent Seven stocks have erased nearly $500 billion overnight. With rumors of World War III and Civil War across Europe, the markets are expecting an even deeper crash tomorrow. Monday, August 5th, breaking news, global financial meltdown. Focus on events, not dates. The collapse marks the start of our freedom. Black Swan or Black Monday, AMG News. Monday, August 5th, flashback. Trump's clash with the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve Chair confirms eliminating the Federal Reserve is best for the economic stability. AMG News.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar, so why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do?
I would answer, I have no idea. But I am not the chair of the United States Council of Economic Advisors, the senior fellow at the center of the budget and policies priorities. That guy doesn't understand it, then who's in charge of all this? Some of you are absolutely right. The president isn't in charge of inflation. It's not the president's fault about inflation, but the president and the vice president are the ones that hire the people that are supposed to know these things, supposed to watch these things. They're supposed to notice the trends and then have a solution on what to do when things like the stock market start to fall out or when things like inflation get too high. These are the people that are supposed to understand it with such a precise point of fact that they have a plan to make sure that bad things don't happen. This guy, yeah, cooked. We're just cooked.
Restored Republic. For those of you who are worried about our future, don't be. Mr. Poole, the 17th letter. Federal Reserve has been rolled into the U.S. Treasury. The IRS is no more. The fiat dollar is backed by gold. Big Pharma will be sued into oblivion. The oil market has been brought to zero to bring down Rockefeller. Free energy is on its way. Hospitals will be for true healing through light and sound waves. Constitutional law will grace our land. Our nation will be sovereign and free. The deep state agencies set up for the cabal will come tumbling down. Worldwide peace will reign. The re-inhabited republic for these United States of America. Dr. Marecki, SG, sits down with U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Dr. Sandy Marecki to discuss the re-inhabited republic for these United States. And if you want to hold a seat in the United States of America Republic, go to members.republicfortheunitedstatesofamerica.org.
God help us if this is true. But I just want to give y'all a quick reminder of who this is. He's the governor, and this was Minneapolis during 2020. He had no control, and this is who she wants her VP to be. Could the ticket get any worse? If they are elected, all of America will look just like these pictures. Mark my words.
So, Secretary Mayorkas announces that all migrants who settle in Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, and Pennsylvania will be granted citizenship before November. Aren't those swing states? Is he maybe looking for voters that he can pay off, yeah, that is treason.
It's done.
A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all the law of the land.
The Brunson brothers have two petitions being considered by the Supreme Court. The below was filed by Raylan J. Brunson, dated October 13, 2022, Supreme Court of the United States. The case uncovers a serious national security breach that is unique and is of first impression, and due to the serious nature of the case, it involves the possible removal of a sitting president and vice president of the United States along with members of the United States Congress, while deeming them unfit from ever holding office under federal, state, county, or local governments found within the United States of America. At the same time, the trial court also has the authority to be validated by this court to authorize the swearing in of the legal and rightful heirs for President and Vice President of the United States. Brunson's complaint alleges fraud, violations of the oath of office, and touches on acts of treason committed by the respondents. These offenses are flowing continually against Brunson's liberties and life, and consequently is a continual national security breach. Voting is the greatest power an individual can exercise in a republic. It is Brunson's personal voice in the way he can protect his personal constitutional protected rights and the U.S. Constitution. When the allegations of a rigged election came forward, the respondents had a duty under law to investigate it or be removed from office. An honest and fair election can only be supported by legal votes. This is sacred. It is the basis of our U.S. Republican form of government, protected by the U.S. Constitution. The efforts made, as stated in the complaint, that avoided an investigation of how Biden won the election is an act of treason and an act of levying war against the United States Constitution, which violated Brunson's unfettered right to vote in an honest and fair election, and as such, it wrongfully invalidated his vote. As a national security interest, this petition is set forth in the interest of justice in protecting Brunson's right to petition for redress of grievances against the respondents and ensuring his right of due process against the encroachment of the doctrine of equitable maxim, and charging the respondents who failed to investigate the allegations of a rigged election by having them removed from office without further delay. There's a link to supremecourt.gov docket. The real news for Monday, August the 5th, 2024. Monday, August 5th, the government of Bangladesh is entering into collapse and the Prime Minister has resigned. Monday, August 5th, Neil Gorsuch runs to Fox News to warn Biden, be careful, thedailybeast.com. Monday, August 5th, Florida, Hurricane Debbie has knocked power out for over 300,000 customers. And Monday, August the 5th, Joe Rogan is suing MSNBC for $30 million, alleging that the news organization deceptively edited a video to make it appear he was supporting Kamala Harris when he was actually criticizing her. Monday, August 5th, Biden paid $1 billion to Putin for CIA spying. Real Raw News. Monday, August 5th, Delta to pause flights between New York, JFK, and Tel Aviv through August 31st. News.delta.com. Monday, August 5th, assets seized from the cabal, Deep State's BlackRock, before it's news.com. Monday, August the 5th, ibuprofen exposed, Olympics Maxwell connection. Monday, August 5th, SG Anon, Charlie Ward, plan of the Red Hats before it's news. And Monday, August 5th, Trump and Patriots in control. The plan they have for us is nothing less than horrifying. Beforeitsnews.com. And Monday, August 5th, these are the first states to collapse. Get out now, 2024, beforeitsnews.com. International child sex trafficking, organ and adrenochrome harvesting ring run out of the Vatican and housed in China's Three Gorges Dam in the 1,500-mile tunnel that runs between the Vatican and Jerusalem. Monday, August 5th, Tucker Carlson just exposed everything about Puff Daddy with videos of Puff Daddy's sex boat Barack and Michelle Obama having fun with underage boys and girls, Epstein and Puff Daddy parties on Epstein Island, satanic parties that include satanic rituals and sacrifices, Puff Daddy drugging people to have intercourse with him, and much more. Oof. Monday, August 5th, veteran border agent makes a shocking statement that U.S. congressmen, senators, and upper echelon of politics, government, corporate media, and entertainment are engaged in pedophilia. And Jesse regarding Cathedral of St. Peter in Rockford, PDF, this is from timothycharleshomseth.com. Why would a celebrity sacrifice their children? A, blackmail. B, business opportunity. C, financial debt. D, occult sacrifice. Or E, all of the above. COVID, Ebola, swine flu, polio, smallpox, etc. human clones hoax. Here are just some vaccine ingredients that are being injected into you and your kids. Formaldehyde, formalin, highly toxic systematic poison and carcinogen. Beta-propiolactone, toxic chemical and carcinogen, may cause death, permanent injury after very short exposure to small quantities. Corrosive chemical. Hexadecyl trimethylammonium bromide may cause damage to the liver, cardiovascular disease and central nervous system, may cause reproductive effects and birth defects. Aluminum hydroxide, aluminum phosphate, aluminum salts, neurotoxin, carries risk for long-term brain inflammation and swelling, neurological disorders, autoimmune disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, and autism. It penetrates the brain where it persists indefinitely. Thimerosal, neurotoxin, induces cellular damage, reduces oxidation, reduction activity, cellular degeneration, and cell death, linked to neurological disorders, Alzheimer's, dementia, and autism. Polysorbate 80 and 20 trespasses the blood-brain barrier and carries with it aluminum, thimerosal, and viruses, allowing it to enter the brain. Glutaraldehyde, toxic chemical, used as disinfectant for heat-sensitive medical equipment. Fetal bovine serum, harvested from bovine cow fetuses taken from pregnant cows before slaughter. Human diploid fibroblast cells, aborted fetal cells. Foreign DNA is the ability to interact with our own. African green monkey kidney cells can carry SV40 cancer-causing virus that was already tainted about 30 million Americans. Acetone can cause kidney, liver, and nerve damage. E. coli, yes, read that right. DNA from porcine pig coronavirus type 1 and human embryonic lung cell cultures from aborted fetuses. You can view all of these ingredients on the CDC's website. I encourage everyone to do their own research. Look up the MSDS on these chemicals. Read the thousands of peer-reviewed studies that have evaluated the biological consequences these chemicals can have on the body, especially when being injected. Satan worshipping Illuminati Zionist deep state cabal globalist depopulation agenda 2030. If the human-induced climate change narrative was actually concerned about reducing greenhouse gas emissions, its proponents would embrace nuclear power. The fact that they don't reveals its true purpose as a mere pretext to replace national sovereignty, representative democracy, and individual liberty with a totalitarian, centrally planned one-world government ruled by unelected globalist technocrats or psychopaths installed increment by increment under the guise of saving the planet. August 2024, Ellis Washington Report, Real News for Real Patriots from the Judy Byington Report. U.S. under martial law, Trump commander-in-chief, and Biden executed. Before its news. Evidently, the USA has been functioning under martial law since before the 2020 election with Donald Trump as commander-in-chief over the U.S. military and President Joe Biden played by masked actors. Joe Biden was said to have been arrested in 2021, tried for treason and pedophilia, found guilty and executed at Gitmo. He has been played by actors ever since, mainly Arthur Roberts. For many years, the Chinese Communist Party, not the Chinese government, which was working to become a democracy, have been involved in a takeover of America. That war culminated when just prior to the 2020 U.S. presidential election, the CCP bought Dominion voting machines that, in collusion with the Democratic Party, CIA, and Vatican, threw millions of Trump votes to Biden.
This is really a sting operation, contrary to what everybody else said. Trump knew this was happening. Eric knew this was happening and warned the public. I knew this was happening. However, I could not say anything about it. What happened was we watermarked every ballot with what's called the QFS blockchain encryption code. In other words, we know pretty well where every ballot is, where it went, and who has it. So this is not a stolen election. On the contrary, we reversed the entire game of war along the lines of Sun Tzu, the art of war. And Trump was brilliant and still is brilliant at it.
A military count of the watermarked 2020 election ballots has confirmed that Trump won in every state, but won with an over 80% win. The CCP paid for and the CIA developed Smartmatic software and Dominion voting machines while conspiring with the Vatican, Italian government, and other communist parties to throw Trump votes to Biden in the 2020 election. Back in 2019, Biden knew the 2020 election would be cooked and even said so in public. We have put together the most comprehensive voter fraud organization in the history of politics, and you guys did it for the Obama administration also. Joe Biden brags about having the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in history. Biden was so confident of the setup for 2020 election fraud that he bragged that he didn't need U.S. citizens to vote to get elected. Joe Biden tells voters, I don't need you to get me elected. Before the 2020 election, Ukraine courts had ruled that Biden had stolen billions from their country. Wow, he's the biggest criminal I think I've ever known. He not only involved in pedophilia, child trafficking, and all the horrors that go with that, he has sold our country out for money to enrich his family, and he is involved in all of this vote fraud and literally stole an election. I mean, I just have no words sometimes for how evil these people, the crimes that they commit. Even before that U.S. Vice President Biden had bragged about blackmailing the Ukraine prosecutor, Ukraine press release about Joe Biden. Trump would not have it, and prior to the 2020 election put the nation under martial law. Trump would remain as commander-in-chief of the military until all those who committed treason were arrested, including those who certified the illegal 2020 election. An interim military U.S. government then took over Washington, D.C. to run the country. The two U.S. governments, a legitimate interim military U.S. government empowered by the Constitution and the Department of Defense under Military Code 11.3, and an illegal, fraudulent, foreign paid-for, foreign controlled, on the foreign ground of the District of Columbia, Biden administration.
Taken over and occupied by military forces. Well, that's what we watched on our own soil. They just told us a different story. But if you were paying attention, they gave us lots of clues, and you'll see in the beginning of this clip, the first one, which is the most obvious, is when on Good Morning America, you were told that the troops were coming in for a peaceful transition to military power.
Allow me to say how proud I am of the almost 25,000 National Guardsmen who have come in from all 50 states and territories to help support the Secret Service and the police departments with a peaceful transition of military power. With a peaceful transition of military power.
Before it's all over, and we got a long road ahead of us, I don't think you can actually clean up Washington, D.C. I don't think you can fix it. It's already fixed. President Trump's going to have to invite all of his contractor buddies. They're going to have to put a fence around D.C., 3 layers deep. You're going to have to pamphlet the city. Anybody that wants out, we got metal detectors, and you're going to get strip searched. You're not getting out with any of the evidence. Anybody that wants to stay, you're an enemy combatant. We're going to flood the city and wash it out. We're going to divert the Potomac. We're going to watch where the water comes out of those slimy holes. I don't care if they're 200 miles away. And then, after we flushed it clean about 3 times, because we're not taking any chances with any of our guys, then we're going in, we're going door to door, and we're going to clean that place out, and we're not going to occupy it again. We're just going to leave it fenced up as a spectacle to the world of the insanity of these groups that have tried to manipulate us. And we're going back to right thinking, godly thinking, sound thinking.
7 p.m. here on Sunday in Washington, D.C., and it sucks here. Okay, you hear? You hear it? There's no one even here. It's crazy.
One of the 2 U.S. governments was in charge of Biden and making him sign blank executive orders on a stage set of the Oval Office. The White House was said to be empty. Some in the Pentagon have been preparing for this for over 20 years. U.S. Attorney General for Utah, John Huber, and his 740 investigators have been very busy since 2016. The U.S. government was corrupt throughout, including Congress and the 3-letter agencies. There were a lot of traitors whose cases had already been processed through grand state juries. There was an estimated 80 to 140 congresspeople thought named in over 223,000 sealed indictments filed in federal courts since Trump took office. And again, remember, each indictment can hold up to 99 people. I believe it's 99, but it's a lot. Of those, 85% to 95% indicted were Democrats, intermixed with a few rhino Republicans. The majority of charges were said to be pedophilia, child exploitation, misappropriation of U.S. taxpayer funds, and conspiring with foreign powers to influence the 2020 presidential election, an act of treason. Some serious charges cannot be brought because Obama pardoned so many in his last days in office. Elected officials were said to have conspired with foreign powers led by the Chinese Communist Party to interfere with the 2020 election. Within days of the fraudulent election, the U.S. military had done an official count of watermarked ballots that proved Trump won the election by an over 80% vote. The operation actually began in January 2020 during a government shutdown. President Trump was said to have reorganized several agencies, including the U.S. Treasury, IRS, and Federal Reserve. Now the U.S. military had control of all assets, including taxpayer dollars, at the new U.S. Treasury near Reno. The military had been tasked with conducting a return to a gold asset-backed dollar and to ensure that the U.S. Republic was restored to original laws of the Constitution as written prior to 1871. This was all made possible after a Saturday, January 9, 2020 raid by U.S. military special op teams on CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. The raid produced firm evidence that the CIA, Democrats, and other traitors had conspired with foreign entities led by the Chinese Communist Party to interfere in the 2020 election. And by January 2, 2020, military tribunals were said to have already begun at Gitmo for high-profile elites such as the Clintons, Obamas, and Bushes. Charges against them were believed to have included capital high treason, election fraud, child sex trafficking, money laundering, misappropriation of U.S. taxpayer funds, plus Uranium One, 9/11, and Benghazi crimes. Also, in front of the White House, the White House itself had been used for military tribunals. And if you know Madison Marquette, she actually testified in one of those tribunals at the White House. And she's talked about it on Nino's Corner. And there's a lot of photographs out there of these gallows that were built in front of the White House or, close to it. So definitely, these things have gone on. Deep State Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller was believed to have been charged for his involvement in the 9/11 cover-up. He was appointed FBI director 7 days before 9/11 and oversaw 9/11 so-called investigations. Plus, he conducted an ongoing fake Russian witch hunt against Trump. Earlier that Saturday morning, January 9th, there had been 2 attempts on Trump and his wife Melania's lives. There were said to have been 12 plus such attempts since he gained office. Trump had had enough. He immediately instigated the Insurrection Act, put into law by George Bush Jr. after 9/11, and then turned his authority over to the U.S. military. On January 11, 2021, Trump was said to be inaugurated as president of the restored republic. That position was later confirmed on July 4, 2021 at Mount Rushmore, where JFK Jr. was sworn in as Trump's vice president. U.S. military was about to restore the U.S. Republic to laws underlying the original Constitution as written prior to 1871. That election was planned to be held on March 4, 2021, through use of a transparent, secure, and instantaneous quantum voting computer where citizens could vote using their own computers or phones. And on January 18, 2023, the U.S. military began sweeping arrests of Congress. On the January 19, 2021, with overwhelming evidence of voter fraud yet to be allowed a court hearing, the U.S. was said to have been officially placed under martial law until a new election could be held. That announcement was sent to all mass media outlets for release, though none would put out the information in more acts of treason. The mainstream media is one of the worst. On January 20th, 2021, actor Arthur Roberts, calling himself Joe Biden, was sworn in as president of a bankrupt and defunct U.S. Inc. corporation. Biden's actual inauguration was said to be filmed on a Castle Rock entertainment stage in Hollywood 2 weeks prior to January 20th, 2021, Inauguration Day. Just prior to this pre-recorded in Hollywood by Castle Rock Entertainment inauguration, Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill, and the White House were secured within miles of barbed wire fences and 60,000 National Guard troops. Over a week later, over 30,000 troops in the barbed wire fencing remained. And for the next 2 days after the January 20th, 2021 inauguration, the military was said to have gathered over 200 elected officials from various state governments. They were said to have taken them for helicopter rides, forcing them to confess about crimes of treason in regard to foreign interference. including the Chinese Communist Party in the 2020 election. Early Monday morning, January 25th, 2021, from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., arrests of 80 to 140 Congresspeople were underway at Capitol Hill, after which Congress seemed to have disappeared. And that's at BitChute.com. House Counsel's business during first full Biden week. Washington Times. On Thursday, January 28th, 2020, certain traitors in both the House and Senate recognized Trump as the acting U.S. president when they voted again to try to impeach him. Under rules of the Constitution, you cannot impeach a U.S. president if he did not persistently hold the office.
As I said a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, by our cyber command using special forces, there were over 400 people from all parts of the intelligence community. I won't go into the names. But in effect now, we are about to arrest Pelosi. We're going to arrest Biden, Hunter Biden, Mitt Romney. You're talking about a whole list of individuals whom I identified on this show for years. When I said Gina Haspel has to go, she went. When I said Barr was a CIA operative, he went. When I told you Pence was not to be believed because he came out of a Democratic Catholic background, became an evangelical Christian, he left. So what's happening now is that we are literally in a military coup. That means, in effect, this country will watch the arrests that will come out of this. We have already arrested, and basically overseas, we have taken out the Pope, whom I've identified for over 30 years as a terrorist, who, when he was director of the Jesuits, had killed 3 of our American nuns, 2 of our Jesuits. We arrested a young man an older man from the State Department, Stefani Serini, who basically leaked all the information, used Leonardo, the sites going up to the satellites.
That is a fucking general.
By the Vatican. We in turn intercepted all that information and were able to get, along with Nancy Pelosi's, a computer. By the way, there was no rioting in the Capitol. I happen to know 3 to 4 people here from my town who said it was very peaceful. The police took down the barriers, and in effect, what people don't know is we sent special forces operators in there to take Pelosi's computer. We marked the computers. We marked the ballots. We marked everything that was done was a sting operation. Nothing has changed. And what was done, it was done by Trump, a businessman who understood the degree of corruption that existed among the Democrats. This isn't just something about the world control of America. This was the concept of a fascist state coming in with the notion of a coronavirus, which was not lethal. I'm about to say that Biden is not going to be the president of the United States. What I'm going to be saying is that there have been massive arrests, and what I'm saying in effect is that we are in martial law and we have a military coup, which simply means that there is going to be a large number of people who are going to be arrested, detained, and will be tried by military tribunal. The reason it's military is because we no longer trust our CIA, we no longer trust our politicians, we do not trust our governors, we do not trust the senior officials who are in Congress or in the Senate. It's as simple as that.
And the Mediterranean, where the tribunals are going on right now, we are waiting for people to get their due. Sometimes you have to see how horrible they really are before they get cut off at the knees. And that's what happened to McCarthy. So I take that example. It might not be a tribunal. It might not be all of our Navy ships off the coast of Japan and Australia and here in the UK and the Mediterranean where the tribunals are going on right now. But we will see signs like that. And it is those actualities that you can take for hope and belief we're getting there.
Monday, August 5th. Let us pray. It's time for a military takeover of U.S. to assure correct devolution government. Gitmo TV on Telegram. Biden allowing child sex trafficking on the U.S.-Mexican border. Biden-Obama CIA found to be guiding Mexican cartel terrorism attacks on U.S. Biden discovered to have taken bribes throughout his political career from foreign entities to exchange for political favors, especially from the Chinese Communist Party. 9 nations insolvent and can't do international trade without a global currency reset. And a worldwide call for fast and prayer. Pray for a restoration of freedom for people of the world. Pray for the brave military forces making mass arrests of global and political elites who've kept the people enslaved, and please do special prayers for the rescue of ritually abused children and adult survivors who Satan worshippers have held captive. In a quest for power, these survivors are used as fodder for pedophilia, child sacrifice, and cannibalism rites in honor of Satan. And also, please pray for all of the children in the underground dumps and the tunnels that are still waiting to be rescued, and for the off-world ET help that we're getting from the light beings and Commander Thor and the Venusians and so forth, because they need prayers as well. Monday, August 5th, Ukraine, the final piece, Glenn Beck. Iran. Obama sends $150 billion in cash to Iran before leaving office in 2016. John Kerry's daughter is married to an Iranian national. Ukraine equals Hunter Biden, Joe Biden dealings and corruption, stealing millions from American taxpayers to funnel money to Ukraine. Nancy Pelosi's son Paul sits on the board of a Ukrainian energy company. Romney's son does too, John Kerry's son, Biden's son. Now you know why we're helping Ukraine and why Pelosi is still here. Having fun yet? The tentacles of Ukraine corruption capture coffer black of Bush's 9/11 cabinet. Obama, Biden, Soros, Schiff, Pelosi, Bolton, John Kerry, Romney, and the Clintons.
This one's dedicated to corrupt politicians, the long arm of the lying media, misinformation to the public.
Monday, August 5th. How Bill Clinton sold out our media to a handful of corporations, thus furthering the success and enabling the CIA's Operation Mockingbird. President Clinton signed the Telecommunications Act of 1996. That monstrous assault on democracy with malignant consequences for journalism was nothing but a welfare giveaway to the largest, richest, and most powerful media conglomerations in the world. In 1950, most of America's news media were owned by 60 different companies. Today, they're owned by just 6. But it's starving America of real news and debate at a time when issues of the utmost seriousness confront our country and our planet. In the same way, too much junk food can be bad for our health. Too much junk media can make our democracy sick. We need more diversity and more truly local news. We need higher quality, and we need to make America's free press a real watchdog again. Not some celebrity or politician's lapdog. And that's from V Darkness Falls on Telegram. Wars and rumors of wars. Monday, August 5th, 2024, Bangladesh protesters resume march against Prime Minister after deadly day of clashes. BBC News. And Monday, August 5th, Biden reportedly is meeting with his national security team today as Iran threatens an imminent attack on Israel. The potential strike follows Israel's killing of Hamas leaders Ismail Haniyeh and Fuad Shukr. Secretary of State Blinken warned of a revenge attack, and Iran's supreme leader Khamenei stated no one has the right to doubt Iran's legal right to punish the Zionist regime. The situation remains tense as global leaders call for de-escalation. And Monday, August 5th, 2024, World War III alert. The Patriot Voice on Telegram. The U.S. military is mobilizing armed forces into the Middle East region, including 12 warships and an aircraft carrier, USS Theodore Roosevelt, and 4,000 Marines and sailors. This comes after the evacuation of U.S. diplomats from Tel Aviv. That is not something to take lightly, not an everyday occurrence. When something like that happens, it means that the stage is being set for war. That and the constant heavy arms being transferred from Russia to Iran, also the stock market. We had a big stock market crash, but apparently all the defense contractors' stocks were going up. So that's another clear sign. Follow the money. Not to mention the multiple worldwide airlines that are ceasing operations over the region. These things are a really big deal. Things are hitting a fever pitch. This is not a drill. U.S. is entering a war while Congress is on vacation. And Biden is nowhere to be found. And who the heck is giving these orders while World War III is imminent? Yeah, right. Who's in charge here? Monday, August 5th, 2024, Turkey announces plan to join South Africa's genocide lawsuit against Israel this week.